Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your TNA Impact Wrestling and some brief TNA and around the world wrestling news. And off we go with the show. TNA Knockout Miss Tessmacher has been added as a meet and greet package for Top Rope Wrestling's April 13th show. You can get more details at topropewrestling.com/buy-tickets. They are calling it a warm-up with Miss Tessmacher. I think since April 13th is the birthday. If you have a birthday on April 13th, you should get your warm-up for free. NJPW and the NWA are partnering for a invasion attack storyline that begins with the NWA bringing a wrestler to NJPW on April the 7th. And you can see the setup video featuring NWA President Bruce Tharp at YouTube /E_X1 Big R little G Big W 4918 capital U. Former WCW star Sergeant Craig Pittman turned 54 years old. Pittman, who was a real Marine sergeant, was the protege of current SmackDown character Teddy Long. He has also had 2 MMA fights in 1995, going 1-1 in the process. Former WCW valet Major Guns, aka Tylene Buck, turned 41. Guns is probably known best for wrestling Miss Hancock. It's aka Stacy Keebler in a mud match in 2000. She is known as an adult film star under the name of Brandy Wild. After scouring hours of video, I regret to inform you that I could not find a video of her that was appropriate for the site. Or for this video anyways. So I guess it's sorry about our damn luck. Will Kurt Angle reveal the identity of the Aces and Eights Vice President after unmasking him at the end of last week's show? Team TNA versus Aces and Eights in a best-of-3 series to determine which team will have the advantage in the Lethal Lockdown match. And for the gut check judgment for Leah Tampa and Ivelisse Velez. Former WCW wrestler Nikita Kollof and his 16-year-old daughter Colby Kollof are featured in the Lifetime reality show called Preacher's Daughters. The show premieres on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Time, and you can view footage on the show at mylifetime.com/shows/Preachers-Daughters. And I will also post a picture on my Facebook account. The show follows 3 families, including Kollof, who started wrestling in 1984 and returned in 1992. He has been a born-again Christian since 1993 after he left wrestling. The wrestler known as El Generico from Mexico and WCW worked without a mask and went by his real name of Rami Sabi at the WWE NXT event from Tampa this past Thursday. It's one match. In other words, it's too soon to say what his look is. Kind of looks like Mason Ryan. His name and character will be going forward as well. TNA Tag Team Champion Bobby Roode's contract recently expired along with RVD, which is why he has not been appearing on the Impact Wrestling TV show since the UK tapings. Roode was not spotted at a fan interaction event on Saturday, so it looks like he won't be at Lockdown either, leaving his status for Sunday's Lockdown pay-per-view in question. Roode and Austin Aries are scheduled to defend the tag team titles against Christopher Daniels and Kazarian and Chavo and Hernandez in a 3-way tag match at the pay-per-view. Thanks to .NET reader Charles K. for the fan interaction update. So if he's not at the fan interaction, what are we going to bid? Unless they sign him for a 1-day contract for them to lose. if they have the tag, they have the tag team titles. Well, they're probably expected to lose then. The talk in the locker room is that the talent relations head, Bruce Pritchard, mistakenly allowed Roode's contract to expire. One source stated that Roode actually had to bring it to the company's attention. If the locker room scuttlebutt is accurate, then it's a very embarrassing and potential costly blunder by the talent relations department. And if I'm not mistaken, Hulk Hogan on his Facebook account was saying, "Will Bobby Roode go to WWE?" We'll soon find out. TNA President Dixie Carter announced the following dates and location for the upcoming TNA Impact Wrestling television show. April 25th in Indiana, Pennsylvania. May 5th in Tupelo, Mississippi. May 23rd in Tampa, Florida. The venues for those locations have not been announced just yet, though I'm sure they will change shortly. And, of course, there will the Impact Wrestling on Spike TV from this past Thursday. And let's see how it goes. I was kind of waiting for some other pages to load as well. Well, live from the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, and in memoriam graphic dedicated to the show to Paul Bearer, a video recap the past few weeks, especially Kurt Angle unmasking the VP last week. That's vice president. It's not the actual guy who runs it, because the president is who runs the aces and eights. Okay, backstage, the invisible question guy asked Angle who the VP was. Angle said he would reveal him tonight. He said he was pissed off and that the reveal would cause shockwaves. He said it wasn't an Impact Zone problem. It was a TNA problem, as he stormed off. Austin Aries made his ring entrance as Todd Henley, Taz, and Mike Tenay checked on him in commentary. Aries said that he couldn't find his partner again this week. He put over his win over Hernandez and then said he gave both Jeff Hardy and Bully Ray some pieces of advice, and they didn't appreciate it. He said Bully said he would never be champion again, and so he wanted to prove Ray wrong. He challenged Jeff Hardy to an immediate title match. Jeff Hardy made his way to the ring and walked around the ring shaking hands with the fans. Aries dove on him and attacked him. He rolled Hardy in the ring, and then the bell rang in an apparent non-title match. So, attacking a guy who hasn't answered your challenge and rolling him into the ring causes an actual match? What kind of shitty-ass logic is this? Match number 1, A-Double versus Jeff Hardy. Aries continued to pound on Hardy. He whipped Hardy into the corner and ran in. Hardy tried to head scissors move in the corner, and Aries tossed him to the floor. Commercial break. Back for the commercial, Hardy hits a sunset flip, but Aries rolled through and hit a drop kick for a 2 count. Hardy tried several more comebacks, but Aries found a way to reverse. Aries stood on the second rope and mocked Hardy. He hit a frog splash for a 2 count and argued with the ref. Hardy pulled the tights for a schoolboy near fall and started his comeback. Hardy hits a splash for the second rope, and then finally hits his corner hit scissor, and that spilled Aries to the floor. Hardy dove on him, played to the crowd. He rolled Aries in the ring and went to the top. Aries stopped him and tried for a suplex. Hardy fought him off and hit a back twist of fate. He took his shirt off, but Matt Morgan ran in and hit carbon footprint on Hardy to cause a DQ. I thought it was carbon boot print, but it's footprint. Jeff Hardy defeated Austin Aries by disqualification in 12 minutes 16 seconds. After the match, Morgan set Hardy's head against the ring post and backed up for another carbon footprint. He started for the move, but Bully Ray ran out with a chain to stop him. Morgan backed away, and Ray helped Hardy up. Backstage, Sting gave a pep talk to his crew and said that they all needed to win tonight. He said he would kick things off And then a video recapped Angle's attack last week, and he was shown heading toward the ring for some break. This is ridiculous. Ray is being so over the top with the babyface stuff that he either has to turn on Sunday or damage his character significantly. I have no idea why Hardy is wrestling Aries on the Go Home show that did nothing to sell the pay-per-view or put any heat on their respective storylines. It just sets up a match for next month's pay-per-view. What a mess. The match was fine, but they need to focus on more for Lockdown than the Lethal Lockdown match. And this match didn't focus on anything. Again, it would set up the Matt Morgan versus Jeff Hardy for next month pay-per-view. I guess it's for the Lethal. It's for slammiversary or something. A video recap of the history between Angle and Aces and Eights, specifically Wes Briscoe. Wes makes his ring entrance, and he said his father and uncle told him that Angle was the best wrestler they had ever seen. He said he had believed them until he met Angle and realized what a waste he was. He said he would beat Angle to death at Lockdown. Angle made his entrance and said, when you disrespect High, you disrespect the business. What? He said he wasn't going to wait until Sunday and slid in the ring. He and Wes brawled until the agents came out. D'Lo pulled Wes away, and Al Snow and the other one didn't see who it was. Pulled Angle away. Angle kept saying, "That's him," and then D'Lo kicked him in the balls. He and Wes beat up Snow and the other guy, and then D'Lo took a mic and revealed himself as the VP. Commercial break. So the VP is a guy who hasn't been relevant in over 5 years. And why didn't Angle take a couple of shots at D'Lo when he first saw him run out? Doesn't anybody think about these things? The Aces and Eights storyline continues to flounder along. I think they may have waited too long to pay this whole thing off. Backstage, D'Lo and the gang hyped up as Devon got ready to face Sting. D'Lo said that they would destroy TNA this Sunday, like Devon was going to destroy Sting. Match number 2, Devon versus Sting. The winner of the series tonight gets the man advantage on Sunday. The match quickly spilled to the floor, and a fan hit Sting in the face with a beer. Security came and dragged him off, and Devon rolled Sting into the ring for the pin. I wonder if it was really a fan or if it was another member of Aces and Eights. Well, Devon defeated Sting in 3 minutes, 21 seconds. Aces and Eights leads 1-0. That was crazy as hell with a fan. I was busy watching to see if this was planned and missed what Devon hit to win the match. I guess somebody wanted to make the Final Impact Zone show. Wanted to remember, Sting was talking to Earl Hebner after the match. I don't know if he got hurt somehow, but he seemed to be talking a lot. Velvet Sky started to answer IQG's question about being champion again when Gail Kim walked up. That's the invisible guy. Kim said that she was surprised Velvet and Taryn hadn't split the title yet since they both screwed her. She kept talking to Velvet and asked if Velvet heard her. Velvet slapped her and asked if she heard that. Danny Davis replaced Taz on the Gut Check team. They put over both women in a pre-tape and then cut to live with the women. The Knockouts. They said that this was the hardest decision to date, and then cut Ivelisse. She was visibly upset, but shook hands and left. Bruce Pritchard told Leah Tampa they would see her later in the ring. Mexican America 4.0 and Velvet Sky made their ring entrance together. Wow, really didn't know what to say about that. Tampa has made great improvements in the ring, and she has a great look. But I'm stunned Ivelisse was cut from her face. So was she. Also didn't realize Sting was busted open by the beer. But there are pictures of him on Twitter showing it. So I guess it was a beer bottle and not just a beer. Or was it just his makeup smearing? Chavo Hernandez and Velvet Sky versus Bad Influence and Gail Kim. Daniels bumped around for Hernandez and Chavo early. Gail Kim grabbed Chavo's leg on a whip to help Daniels take control. Velvet returned the favor almost immediately, but Cass hit a dirty clothesline on Chavo to take control. Velvet got the hot tag, as did Kim. The match broke down and the men took each other out. Velvet cheered her teammates, but Kim hit the Eat Defeat for the win. So Bad Influence and Gail Kim defeated Chavo, Hernandez, and Velvet. So the Pigeons lost tonight. Video recapped what happened with D'Lo and with Sting earlier. No question that the fan was a plant after that. Backstage, Sting freaked out by beating a chair with a bat. Joe and Magnus argued about if they could trust each other or not. And then AJ Styles' update was hype for next as they go to commercial. Go ahead and fire up the email machines, TNA fanboys, because I have nothing but disdain for the shows thus far. I am so incredibly frustrated. They have a pay-per-view to sell for Sunday, and they have make the top of the second hour match a garbage mixed 6-man match. Get the F out of here. Who's putting the show together? This is usually the second or third highest rated segment. Put something that matters on in this spot. Not a token match. The build for the Lethal Lockdown has been well done, but that alone isn't going to sell the pay-per-view. They need to put heat on some of the other matches, especially the world title match, and they are failing miserably. A video showed the camera crew finding Styles in his hometown at a bar. They got out of the car and AJ shoved them back in while telling them to leave. They immediately moved on because that's the TNA way, and Doc and Garrett made their ring entrance. And then Joe and Magnus followed as they were next. Then they showed a video of the camera crew fight. I already said that. Okay, so we get Doc and Garrett Bischoff versus Magnus and Samoa Joe. I either skipped this part or I went over it again. Okay, well, anyways. I already read that. Okay, Doc and Garrett Bischoff versus Magnus and Samoa Joe. Garrett got a "You Can't Wrestle" chant from the Impact Zone crowd, but he won't miss that next week. A graphic showed AJ Styles tweeted that he would be in Chicago next week. Way to distract the match TNA. Magnus and Joe pulled out their old tag team moves and pinned Doc after a top rope elbow. And the match only took 4 minutes and 52 seconds, and the series is now tied 1-1. And then we get Leah Tappa headed to the ring for her gut check judging. Commercial break. Not a bad match, but I don't understand why they didn't go to the AJ tweet before the match, so it didn't distract from the match itself. That's the problem with TNA in a nutshell. They screw things up. They make really strange decisions when the right decision seems so obvious. Like cutting the person who actually won the gut check match. How does that happen? Kenny King cut a promo about being the new X Division champion and said he was going to prove he was the best ever. He said it didn't matter who they gave him to face on Sunday. He would beat them backstage. Sting walked up to Eric Young and James Storm. Young cut a good promo about how he was a funny guy, but Aces and Eights tried to take wrestling away from him. He said he would never forget it, and there was no punchline, and asked Sting to pick him for the final match. Sting said he appreciated it, but had to go with Storm. He walked away, and Storm said he had it covered. JB introduced the judges, and then Leah Tappa. She drew unbelievable heat as Borash asked her if the judges saw her best. She either played to the crowd or let them get under her skin as they chanted no. She answered with a lengthy response about how far she has come in 2 years and how far she will go. Well, Danny Davis gives her a yes. How did he even get involved in it? In the judging. Bruce Pritchard gave a shout out to Paul Bearer and then gave her a no. Tampa's kick out promo was heartfelt at first, and then got a passionate at the end. She said she knew that what she could add to TNA and the knockout submission. Snow said he would miss Uncle Paul and then gave her a yes. So congratulations to Leah Tampa. But I still can't believe that Ivolise was cut. Hopefully there's a bigger plan that we can't see right now. They probably go give her a job anyways. Mr. Anderson versus James Storm was next. Anderson got in a few strikes, but Storm fought back quite quickly. Hit closing time. Aces and Eights came out and stood by the railing. Team TNA ran out and stood between the gang and the ring. Storm watched it all play out and turned around into a mic check. Mr. Anderson defeated James Storm in 3 minutes 50 seconds. Ace and Eights wins the series 2-1 and will have the man advantage at Lethal Lockdown. Jeff Hardy, Brooke Hogan, and Bully Ray were all shown heading toward the ring. Cut and dry. Storm looks dumb for turning his back on Anderson, but that's a standard wrestling gimmick. I don't think the results of this match were ever in doubt. Ray and Brooke make their entrance. Hardy was out next. Ray said he had Jeff's back, but the bromance was over, and he was coming for Hardy. Jeff said he was proud of Ray for what he's done. Ray said he's never been proud of himself because he always expected greatness. He said he wasn't going to go through the back door. He was going through the front door and beat Hardy with his best move. They shook hands and Hulk Hogan's music hit. Hogan came out and said that TNA was going on to greatness, and they were looking for the guy who could take them there. He put over both guys and said the best man should win on Sunday. Aces and Eights ran out to attack Hardy and Ray. The rest of the team, TNA, ran out as well, and the brawl closed the show. I know it seems to be hard on TNA sometimes, but honestly, folks, who thought that sold any pay-per-views? The bromance continued, even though Bully said it was over, and Hulk to come out and stroke his ego and take what precious little heat there is off a match. And then Aces and Eights ran out to kill it even more. I honestly don't get it. I have never said this about a show that I remember, but I would be less likely to order Lockdown after this episode. In fact, I have to work, so I'll miss the live showing myself. I'll probably try and catch it on the second show online somewhere. It feels like TNA has been holding back until they go on the road. I get the point behind that, but with only 2 pay-per-views left after this, you would expect them to give a damn about making this one feel special. I'll give them full credit for making the Lethal Lockdown match feel like a big deal. Storm's senior moment, notwithstanding. But nothing else even feels close to a big deal. Not even the Angle versus Briscoe match. And certainly not the title match. I had such high hopes when the schedule changed, but all they've done has been lazy with some extra time. And let's see if I can have the stuff pulled up. Well, I guess my internet is out. So, well, thanks for viewing, folks. Do apologize. That's all the news I have for this week for TNA. Thanks again for viewing. Peace out.